Hi, medications part 5. I'll be talking about heparin. Heparin is also a very sensitive medication, and that is because it also has a propensity to cause harm to the patient. And the biggest of this potential harm is bleeding, because it's a blood thinner or anticoagulant. It can make the blood so thin that the patient bleeds easily. So if your patient is on heparin or any other blood thinner for that matter, make sure you are checking for signs of bleeding. Check in the stool, check in the urine, check on the patient generally to see, make sure that none of that is happening. And then just like insulin, there is a guide when a patient is on this medication. There are tests carried out regularly to make sure that the concentration of the medication in the patient is where they want it to be within the normal range. So that if it's outside the normal range, whether it's too high or too small, they make adjustments so that the patient doesn't run into problems. So that is what you should be watching out for, the side effects. That's one. Number two, just like insulin, another nurse should sign off on the dose. Make sure you are giving it the right dose to the right patient at the right time through the right route. The usual criteria for giving medication. So another nurse will sign off that you also are doing the right thing. So the syringe, right? This syringe right here is a heparin syringe. It is it's calibrated in mil. The whole of this is 1 mil. Heparin is also prescribed in units, but the good thing with it is that it comes in vials, and most often than not, you are required to give the whole thing. Check your order, of course, but you are required to give the whole thing. Some of them the most common one I've seen is the one in 5,000 units. There's one for 2,500. So you can actually do without this syringe. Many times it's not even available. You can use a regular syringe, withdraw everything from the vial, and give it to the patient subcut using the appropriate needle. So you can do that. Then some of the syringes, some of the doses come in a pre-filled syringe, especially these low molecular weight heparin. That's enoxaparin. The trade name is Lovenox. So those ones come in pre-filled syringes. All you need to do is get the syringe, open the pack, remove the cap, and give it to the patient after another nurse double checks with you. So that's it about heparin. Then there's a quick note I want you to make of something I was supposed to say when I was talking about narcotics that I forgot, and that is patches. Some narcotics come in patches. An example is the fentanyl patch. So this patch goes on the skin of the patient. It stays there for a number of hours before it is taken off based on the prescription. So noteworthy is that you make sure that when you are giving reports or taking reports from another nurse, ensure that you go in the patient's room and see that the patch is on the patient. Because if the patch is not on the patient and is supposed to be on the patient, whoever is taking care of that patient is responsible for it. So you go in and make sure that the patch is on the patient, and you and whoever you are handing over to or taking over to will sign off that this patient has a fentanyl patch and it is still on the patient. So that's it for this video. Next video, I'm going to maybe talk about something else. If anything else pops up in my head about medications, I'll put that in another video. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and follow for more.